So we've got the Shanu with several settlers in the New World, but they haven't started finding cities yet. And as soon as they do, I mean, they're going to quickly become the top colonizer in the New World. They actually just got up their first Caribbean city, as well as they have like settlers scattered all throughout North America. And I don't know what attracted them to the Caribbean, but they've got another settler here. They've got a lot more coming across the Pacific, and I don't know where they went. Here we go, Kazakhstan, still doing their thing. But okay, so obviously I processed a turn over the break. A few things happen. First of all, we've got Moria choosing autocracy, so autocracy is now winning the game in terms of most popular by 1, I think. Congo and the Sumer have pieced out. We've got Byzantium and Hungary piecing out, but still the Goths have to worry about this. This is the big one. Victoria started to finally do something again. This time after Portugal. We've seen this happen several times. This should be actually a pretty dominant war, although these crossbowmen are going to do a lot of damage for Maria. It probably won't be enough, though. Armenia and Prussia have pieced out, and we've got Sweden and Hungary, Umayyad and Sweden piecing out. Mongolia decided they didn't want any more of Kazakhstan. Persia declaring war on Benin, and that's about it. We've got Sweden and Russia piecing out. This is big. Another coastal city for the British, if they can get this done. That's a little bit more of a big one. All right, so Egypt's, you know what? They're still too far away, though. Congo pieced out with Persia. That's another very big peace deal. So Persia's going to be able to get back to doing what they do. Maybe Ethiopia will do something about that. And we've got the Mongols moving with their first settler. Not sure if they're going for the New World or not. Looks like they might be, because there's no other land out this way. Maratha moving over towards this location, I think, as well. And Spain might be finally settling soon. There's, for some reason, a Boer worker. Maybe they don't have time to build a scout, so they're just like, hey, you put down your shovel. You need to get on a ship and start exploring. That's a way better job than being a worker, so I'd be all for that. Boom, Chukchi with their 4th city, technically, in the New World. They've got 2 in Alaska and 2 in the Deep South. We'll see where Finland decides to move towards. And loving Japan. Loving what we see from Japan. Japan was the top colonizer for a little bit. They've got 4 cities in North America and a 5th, actually, in Australia. Oh, is this where Maratha's going? I'm sorry, that's Moria. Yes, so one is going, I think, continuing for the New World. The other one, I think, maybe going for New Guinea. Interesting, we have not seen much of a Chukchi navy until now. It's interesting that we're seeing this at this point here. So, I'm not sure what they're doing. They might be trying to just reinforce a little bit. Siam with the navy of their own. Kind of an escort navy almost. They're not escorting anything over. Maybe some land units. A little bit of land units. Japan's still at war with Indonesia. I completely forgot about that. Huh. Nigeria is now safe. Nigeria pieced out with the Ashanti. The Mali is not safe from the Ashanti, but Nigeria is with 4 cities. I like that. So Ship of the Lions will be doing multiple attacks on Porto. This is still going to be very, very damaging, I think, to the British Navy, but I think they'll get through it. Yeah, they'll definitely get through it. Another ideology, Persia, choosing autocracy. Now, I think there's 2 more civs with autocracy, following autocracy rather than order. Goths moving in a little bit closer. Austria seems to have backed away from the front lines a little bit. Oh, no, they're back. They are back. Clearly, Austria doesn't want to join in with just 2 Hungarian units. But again, they could shut down this war at any point. They're allowing the Goths to get really big by doing this. Austria has chosen autocracy. All right. So, lots of autocracy nations, which means there should be lots and lots of war. It's probably safe to assume. All those policies, all those tenets, offering obviously a great what's it called? Benefits to war, especially one of those like 3rd-tier tenets. Crazy, giving you like 25% combat strength for like 50 turns, something like that. Crazy. So I'm not sure how much the AI considers that. Like, do they get that policy and then think, oh, I should probably go to war right now? That's interesting. I don't think they would. I think they're just probably using the same formula that they always do. But I feel like there should be a little bit more of an incentive. They should probably get like a little bit, an extra, I don't know, something like 10 points to be like, yeah, or an extra 10% chance of going to war, since they have that policy within the next 50 turns, while they have that that policy enacted. Anything else after Australia? No, but Russia, or is that Chola? Yeah, Russia over here in Australia. Doing their thing, trying to figure some things out too. Russia probably trying to find a spot of their own. Yeah, Ethiopia is here, but they're not going to get the job done. Not with these ships. They're going to need a little bit more than that. So the French might be now moving in towards Benin. Remember, they're at war with Benin. Did the French peace out with the Congo? I don't think they did, but I haven't processing turns, so I haven't been able to pay the most amount of attention. The Vandals really reinforcing these two southern cities pretty well. Oh, okay, so Mali's finally going to fall here. And that'll be an additional city. Again, not coastal for Ashanti. So it's just like, like the Ashanti are close, but I don't see a big route for them to become this naval. You need to be kind of a naval powerhouse to colonize. Let's say at least a little bit. You need a few ships. You need to know what's going on in the world. You need to be able to defend your colonies. And you only have one that has access to the Atlantic Ocean. This one is trapped behind the Mediterranean, because I don't think you're going to be able to get access through Morocco. Not until you go to war with them, which is likely. But if you don't do it soon, then Spain or Portugal is going to pick it up. Actually, more than likely, England might pick it up. Because if Porto falls, and if Victoria is feeling aggressive enough, I bet you she goes after the second Portuguese city. Greece and Morocco have peaced out. Lots and lots of redcoats all along Manchester, but I don't think England has much of a... I don't think England cares about going to war with France anymore. As Portugal finally got a ship out over here, their unique ship. Finland, what are you doing? I feel like you're doing circles. Yes, Spain finally did settle. That's great. Okay, so Spain is now in the colonization game. Babylon settling along the Yucatan Peninsula. So we've got Babylonian Mexico. Cool. That's awesome. Chukchi off to a fast start, already spreading Judaism to the New World. Here's the other Shanu settler, but I know that there are more. Maybe they, some of them I know went down south. Geez, so many privateers. I know that obviously, yeah, they did go to the south. The Boer versus Morocco. Any other wars? No. The Goths versus Morocco. Moria still is not settled here. Turn 262, rapidly approaching turn 300. Not really rapidly, but approaching turn 300. Soon enough. And again, the colonization is where that is going to obviously become a little more interesting, because now we're getting more established settlements in both South North America and Australia. These cities are getting bigger. They can afford to build settlers and then just send them 3 tiles to the east or the north or the west and grab some land. I also want to keep an eye on what that Japanese coastline is going to be building. If they end up building a scout and sending them in deeper towards America or towards the modern-day USA. We should probably check on that right now while the Goths are processing. I have no idea where that Pope settler went. We'll find him in like 500 videos. Maybe not 500. We'll find him in like 5 videos. Ended up settling like in Siberia, right where the British did. So the Japanese ended up getting up a Gatling gun and a rifleman. Actually, they've got a few things up, but they're not really exploring. Congo have adopted autocracy. All right, so that's going to be the dominant ideology. I think it's safe to say. There'll probably be a few more order nations, but not many. Remember, a lot of the civs want to go down towards a new ideology just so they can pick up those free tenants. I think since everyone's already got the tenants from order and autocracy, there's no point really in going for anything else. Well, yeah, freedom, but I think the AI does consider the fact that freedom, since this is only a domination-only game, that freedom won't actually help them towards a domination victory. So that's why I think it takes so long for an AI to choose freedom, but they end up weighing the options like, well, freedom offers 2 free tenants, so I might as well get those 2 free policies. At that point, it's almost always guaranteed they have a revolution, though, because they usually don't have the tourism. That's what I should check on. Remember Finland has this like amazing influential status with like 4 civs? We should probably check on that. There's Shanu, Kazakhstan. Are you finally not getting open borders agreements or what? You kind of trapped, looks like. A little bit. Anything else going on in the Indian Ocean? Again, remember, Persia can now go out and settle. Persia can once again settle out this way. Maratha, that's just so strange. I don't know how the Marathans know. I think we might have stumbled upon a caravel like once. There's the Pope. Okay, now we figured it out. How many times did I pass him up? Well, that's interesting because now no one else is going to be able to go for that spot. I figured someone would have eventually stolen that spot. It's so strange to see how likely AIs are to settle South Africa. South Africa, it's just interesting. Egypt and Morocco, again, nothing, no big impact there. Don't think that will lead to anything too huge. Big fleets out this way. And how is Britain doing with their siege of Porto? Okay. Looks like they've gotten rid of a few melee units, but not as much as they'd probably like, since they're definitely losing ships. Russia's adopted order. I do know that there is a tendency for certain civs to go down certain ideologies. So that also is something kind of interesting that needs to be weighed into the fact of all this stuff. I don't necessarily choose modded civs for their aggressiveness or anything, their flavors at all. It's almost strictly because I need a civ in that location. So that's another thing that because it seems like a lot of the modded civs, maybe it's just a natural thing. Maybe most modders make their civs aggressive. But it does seem like most modded civs end up going autocracy. Again, that might not be the case. It could be just because we're domination only, and that's just what we see. Like, the Pope is a perfect example of someone that's not very aggressive. The Pope modded civ is a very culturally cultured civ, but to see him still alive, to see him build all these units, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it is pretty nice. Did the Ashanti take Mali yet? Yep, boom. All right, so we are down to, I believe, 50 civs. And I can check that over the break. Actually, not over the break. I'll do it right now when we're not processing. So yeah, another big pickup for the Ashanti. But not coastal. What she really needs, or what he really needs, is that these 2 cities. Morocco will be a little bit tougher to take, especially because the Ashanti have no navy. So that is kind of a problem. Egypt moving through territory to attack Benin, I believe. That's kind of what it's starting to look like. Let's see where the Mongols send their settler. Directly to the south, there's kind of a race. All these settlers. Congo's going to dominate Australia, it looks like. It's starting to really look that way. Okay, what's going on here? We knew about the capital loss. All right, yep, that's about it. That's about all the new stuff. Cannot believe Kazakhstan held back Mongolia. That is amazing. Really was not expecting to see something like that. And the Shanu, I mean, Kazakhstan is probably in the worst situation. They're surrounded by Mongolia, the Shanu, and the Huns. Mongolia is not that strong, but they're very aggressive. You don't want to be next to Mongolia ever. The Huns and the Shanu, though, really powerful civs. So yeah, you don't really want to be next to them. Goth's having a lot of trouble here, and the Hungarians have even got up another unit. So that's an issue. All right, so now I think Elizabeth's kind of got the hang of this. She's going to skip out on these units. She's going to focus on the attack of Porto. She's got 2 ranged attacks, and then eventually she'll get that privateer in there. Actually, has Portugal used up their turn just yet? She might get this ship of the line, which is actually a first rate, destroyed. Then she'll move in this privateer for a melee attack. Or a caravel for a melee attack, who knows? No settlers along the Atlantic Ocean, not that I see, at least. Which doesn't mean much. I mean, everyone knows how blind Cracklord is, so it's really not a big statement. Just because I'm not seeing anything. Very surprised at the English Navy. Huge. Huge considering the fact that they don't even control all of the British Isles. They don't, yeah, they really don't control that much. But I am still very interested in seeing what Scotland does to take back that location. All right, so the caravel was ended up being destroyed. They're gonna need a few more units. Oh, you're being distracted. Well, actually, that might be a smart move. They'll take that really quick. 3 of their unique boats and 2 melee attacks. Then they can bring that up for reinforcements of Porto, if needed. Again, the British are still gonna lose a lot of ships out of this war. Yeah, no matter what, they're gonna lose a lot of ships. What's going on in the Pacific? Lots and lots of units out this way. A lot of I think reinforcements. Did the Marathons? Yes. I'm sorry, Moria. Did Moria settle? Yes, they did. These ships, remember, we saw that Siam and Indonesia are still at war. So we might see an attack here. Unfortunately for them, you know, Siam waited a little bit too long, so Indonesia is going to be kind of ready for them. It's kind of somewhat ready. The Japanese with a pretty big force too. And what are they building? See, I've got to give a little bit more credit to the Japanese right now because the Chukchi are on 2 opposite sides of their continent, whereas the Japanese, 4 consolidated cities, they can all build units. They get up an infrastructure soon. They'll be able to reinforce those cities with quick units. They're in a good spot. They're in a real good spot. China decided to settle around the Canadian, around modern-day Canada. So they didn't go for a close-by city to their Caribbean settlement. We've got a worker coming. See, look, this city's at 13 population. The British can just buy a settler or build one here, and then boom, just start throwing that sucker down. Anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. We'll see what happens in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.